Today I saw a video called Who's More Radical, the Left or the Right? It was by Prager University. If anyone has never seen Prager University, it's really about what all of these like fringe far right opinions, and I really want to talk about, because they made a video called Who's More Radical. So I'd like to watch it and then just talk about it with you guys. Wait.
There are crazy positions on the far left and crazy positions on the far right. On the left, there are people who believe a man can get pregnant, that the world is going to end in a decade if we don't cap carbon emissions, that the real purpose of the American Revolution was to preserve slavery.
Now, I really like to write down and talk about his opinions. Here. So to him, these are crazy opinions. Now, I would like to write down what he's going to say here. By overanalyzing it, I think we can make more sense of it than if we dismiss it. Everyone should have a voice, right? So I'm gonna write, on the left, people believe, a man can get pregnant.
That the world is going to end in a...
The world will end in a decade. If we don't cap carbon.
If we don't cap carbon emissions. That the real purpose of the American Revolution was to preserve slavery.
The purpose of the American Revolution was to preserve slavery. Now, these are crazy people on the left. What does the left believe? I'm going to make a little crazy guy here. And color it blue. The left believes that a man can get pregnant. The left believes that transgenderism is not a crime. The more crazy thing to say would be that on the right, crazy people think. The better thing to say would be that on the right, crazy people think that there are only two genders and that transgenderism is fake. With that, I think we can rule out the first guy. It's okay, he could be a third wrong. He's only well-lit. The world will end in a decade if we don't cap carbon emissions. Now, this is a widely held fact. Now, the world won't end. However, certain species certain species that live in colder climates will not be able to survive if we don't cap carbon emissions. Now, as well, there are cities in like Florida and Nauru, entire countries that will be swept up by water because the polar ice caps will melt. So I think we can rule out the second one. But okay, okay, he can be only 2/3 wrong, right? Well, let's take a look at the last one. I'm going to make a little pie chart. Here. And we can rule out this one and this one. Now we're only relying on this part. The American Revolution was to preserve slavery. Now, slavery was going on in Britain and other Western countries. In fact, in Asian countries, it was almost obliterated. This is a fact. The American Revolution was not to preserve slavery. Slavery was a thing that was like very common back then. And people think that slavery was abolished in America. Slavery was abolished in America. Nobody on the left believes that. That's so dumb. So I think I'm going to rule this one out, and I can rule the last portion of our little pie chart out. And if I make this a face, right, he doesn't exist because he's all ruled out, which means there are no crazies on the left. Or at least that these are so small that I have evidence to prove in the back of my head that these aren't real. This will turn into wasteful. This will turn into wasteful, unrecycled paper. Now, I believe that if the government does something about the carbon problem, I think we can solve it. But I'm not panicking. Am I panicking? I'm just panicking that I can make this video so that everybody can hear how crazy this guy is. He's really the crazy one. Now,
on the right, there are people who deny the Holocaust happened, who believe that whites are inherently superior to other races.
People deny the Holocaust happened. That's a real thing.
That no one should pay taxes.
No one should pay taxes. Well, no one believes that. Everybody should pay
There's
taxes.
an important difference between these two extremes. The crazies on the right have no voice.
Now he's going to talk about if the crazies have different voices, and then he's going to talk about who really is more radical. He's acknowledging that everyone's just as much radical as other people, but he's now talking about their voices. In the end, he talks about if there are more or less radical people. Now he's acknowledging that they're the same. I think he contradicts himself.
They are shunned. They live mostly on the far...
He talks about it like they. He thinks that everybody is. He thinks like that there's the same amount of people on the crazies on the left and the right.
Fringes of the internet.
Now, do they have no voice? Are they shunned? Are they living on the fringes of the internet? There's YouTube. Have you ever heard of YouTube? PragerU is crazy. I think that they are not on the fringe of the internet. I could find it. Okay, you are so old to say that.
The crazies on the left have a loud voice. They are celebrated. They live in the halls of Congress, in state legislatures, and in governors'
Then are they really crazy?
mansions.
Are those opinions ever held by anyone? Much less people who are living these places and not on far fringes of the internet. So dumb.
In light of this distinction, it might be interesting to ask ourselves this question. Which group, the left or the right, is more radical?
Which group is more radical? I think that the right is more radical. Just a little guess.
We can arrive at a common sense answer by posing this thought experiment. What would America look like if the left got everything it wanted?
This is the interesting one. Like, it ignores, like, how many radical people there are. It just says, what would America look like if the left got everything it wanted, and what would America look like if the right got everything it wanted? And then I'd like to do a little bit of a thought experiment with you guys. Right now, I am outside in the world, This is called California. Have anyone heard of California before? I think this is what America would look like if the left got everything it wanted. And it's true. It exists. And it's a pretty great place. Now, as you can see, the bridges are built. There are 2 bridges. And they're not being forced down by any labor unions that the right has fear-mongered for decades. As you can see, the Albany Bulb has survived. It has been built with landfill, but the environmentalists kept it there, and now it's a big beach that has so many jobs in it. I don't think Trump would even do such a thing. Do you see how many power lines aren't underground? This is good because it won't pollute the water that gives jobs to San Francisco. And do you see this house? I don't care that it's this small because I can give land to people who need it. Okay. I'm back. We took a little field trip to the halls of left. Now, let's go to somewhere where the right gets everything it wanted. How about that? I'm using the most advanced CIA engine the world has ever known, Google, to uncover this mystery. El Paso, Texas. El Paso, Texas. Now, look at this. Look how big these houses are. In fact, there's a lot of homeless people here. Do you see how rural it looks? I'm going to show you going around a little bit, seeing how a cityscape looks. Do you see? And there's all these suburbs, and there's a lot of whites, like too many whites. Top 3 safest large cities. Well, I wonder who would be bigger. Crime rankings. Which one's bigger than Texas? Let me see. Web archive right here. Now, New York City and Austin. Those are both liberal communities. I love it. I love it. These are cities without crime, where police have no one to pursue but blacks. I think this is the unradical thing about leftism. Now I'm going to go back and continue the video. Skip past this. Now, and he also talks about the Green New Deal, which is dumb. I don't want to talk about that. Now, oh, he doesn't talk.
Which country do you want to live in? In elementary school would recite the Pledge of Allegiance at the start of each school day.
That's censorship.
So what can we conclude from our experiment? It's not hard to figure out. If the right got everything it wanted, the government would get much smaller. The citizen would have more freedom. If the left got everything it wanted, the government would get much bigger. The citizen would have less freedom. You're not
The government will get bigger, but the citizen wouldn't get less freedom.
radical.
You're so wrong, and that wouldn't be
You
bad.
want America to be what it's always been.
Also, this big government fear-mongering isn't what it's made up to be.
Committed to individual liberty. You're only radical if you want to fundamentally transform America into something it's never been.
That's not true.
Which country
In fact, he talks about the West. The West. The West was founded on socialism.
do you want to live in? I'm Will Witt for Prager University.
Now, I made a little bit of a response video. Now, if you want to subscribe, just click it down below. I think this would be very, very helpful to people who watch PragerU. I'm so dumb, and they just made this video in 2020. This guy is so dumb, but I might even make a parody of him. Let's see, okay? Bye!